Well, hey you guys, welcome to today's video. I am going to be sharing my January homeschool update and giving you guys details on how our month went, what's new, any changes we're making, things like that. So if you like this kind of video, this is the perfect time for you to grab that cup of coffee or that basket of laundry to fold and just hang out while we chat. In case you don't know me, or if you're new here, I'm Sarah. I'm a homeschool mom to 4 kids. My youngest is 5, my oldest is 12, and I've got 10-year-old twin daughters in between. So this year on my channel, I focused a lot on preschool, 5th and 6th grade curriculum, as that's what we're currently using. And obviously I'll be sharing our journey as we move into kindergarten, 6th and 7th grade next year. I love sharing tips and homeschool encouragement with other moms, both here and on my blog, blessedhomeschool.com. I've got a lot of great content coming up, so make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Okay, let's get started with what went really well in January. So math, I think, is going really well for us. You guys know, or you may know, that we've been using CTC Math for about a year now, and so far it's working really well. My son actually finished up his 6th grade lessons this week, so we're going to be doing a little bit of review over the 6th grade material and then moving on to 7th grade work. What I love about CTC Math is that when you pay for a family membership, first of all, it's super affordable, but second, you get all levels for all of your kids included in that. So I don't have to pay for a different curriculum now that he's moving into 7th grade. We just continue with our lessons. It's great. CTC Math has really great tracking and reporting, so it's really easy for me to log in each week and see exactly how my kids are doing on each of their lessons. It is a mastery program, but they have what's called weekly revision tasks that I can assign to my kids. And what this does is each week they will get a set of questions, usually about 20 to 30 questions or so, that covers previously taught concepts. So these are concepts from last year, and then once we get into our second semester, it covers the previous stuff from this grade level as well. So my kids still get to go back and practice things they've already learned and moved past. They don't just learn it and then forget it, never touch it again. So you can have your kids do these online, or you can print them out and have them work on them by hand. I have my kids do them online because then they are automatically graded. But then when I go back and look at them, and if I see they didn't score really well, I will print them out and sit with them to go through the problems. And that's been working really well for us. Anyway, one more thing about CTC Math. They recently released a new feature I saw on their website, which is exams. This is brand new. I haven't used it yet, except that I created a kind of final exam for my son for 6th grade that I'm going to have him take this week. So I will update you guys on how that goes after we do that this week and see if I can share any more thoughts on this new feature. My plan is for my son to start his 7th grade lessons and get about halfway through that by the end of our school year. Then he will finish 7th grade and 8th grade lessons during next year, which is his 7th grade year. The reason for this is so that we can move on to algebra in 8th grade and he can earn dual credit for this. It doesn't feel like we are super close to high school, but I know we are getting close. So I'm starting to think a little bit about what some of this is going to look like. And I'll probably be talking through more of my thoughts on this in upcoming videos. My girls are working through 5th grade lessons in CTC Math, and those are going well too. They will finish 5th grade math by the end of the school year, and then the plan is to take them on the same track as my son. Okay, what else is going well? Science is going pretty well. If you've been with me for a little bit, you probably know we have been giving Sunlight Science E a try this semester. I like it so far. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite, but we are enjoying it. You can check out my other video on this if you're interested, but in a nutshell, we have lessons 4 days a week, which most days we have been able to squeeze in. I would almost prefer to have just 3 days a week with how our schedule is, but we've been making it work. So 3 out of the 4 days, you have a lesson from this book or one of the other supplement books, but it's mainly this one. And then on the 4th day, you have an experiment. So we've been using this for about 4 weeks now, I think, about 4 weeks. And the first 2 weeks we were able to do the experiment. We had to skip one of them because that week we just didn't have time. And also this week of lessons, I'm kind of splitting this week into 2 weeks. So we'll do 2 science lessons a week instead of 4. It's just such a busy time of year. I'm sure you guys understand, but I am trying to make time for the hands-on activities and experiments. They are not my strong suit, but my kids do love them. So I know how important it is to include activities and things like that. Overall, the lessons are pretty engaging. I do wish I had extra books so that each of my kids could have one to look at when we read. Right now, I just kind of hold it up so they can see. So you'll see, you know, there's lots of little pictures and little things to read and for them to look at. So usually I'll just kind of hold it up like this, and I wish they all had their own book. When it comes time to work on their worksheet, it would be helpful if they each had one and didn't have to fight over one of them. But I don't know, I really don't want to buy 2 more of the same book right now. So we are making do with it. Not perfect, but it's working out okay. My kids really like this book. I think, you know, the different pictures and everything in here make it really easy to understand. The concepts are very clear. The worksheets that go along with it help reinforce important concepts, and they don't take too much time to do. So all of this is good. But like I mentioned in my other video, when I kind of went over the curriculum, I really wish that it was grounded in a biblical worldview. I would love it so much more. I think Sunlight does a good job of noting in the instructor guide when certain topics will be taught. Like, for example, next week we will be talking about cloning and stem cells. So it made a note of that. But basically it just tells you that you'll have the information presented and then you'll want to decide how to discuss it based on your beliefs. Okay, yes, I do appreciate the heads up, but I think more guidance could be given to parents on how to teach these topics from a biblical perspective. How do I evaluate what we're learning from a biblical perspective? What does the Bible say about these topics? What do I do with these facts that we're learning? How should we respond to what we learn in a way that will glorify God? Because the fact of the matter is, some parents know how to have these discussions, but some might not. And there are many scientific topics that I'm not completely comfortable talking about in this way because I don't know much about them, or I'm still learning about them myself and how to talk about them through the lens of the Bible. So just keep that in mind. If you're considering using this and want to use this curriculum as an open and go and expect it to be a good Christian Science curriculum, I do think it misses the mark a little bit. I'm not checking out on this one yet, but in the future, I will be opting for curriculum that actively includes biblical principles. So, I mean, this book might be good, but it's not neutral. It communicates that God is not applicable to the topic that it's teaching because it leaves them out. And there's not much included in the curriculum overall that remedies that. So we're just doing a lot of discussion about things as we read, which maybe is a good thing. I mean, not every book my kids are going to pick up will be a biblically based book, so they are going to need to be discerning about things they read. You guys, see why this is so hard? Grace. That's what we get. We lean into the Lord and He gives us grace. And you know what? He is big enough to fill any gaps. He is big enough to help us with our choices and how to teach our kids. And He loves our kids more than we do. So we just continue to do our best, do what He's called us to do, and trust that He is going to work everything for our good and His glory, honestly, no matter which curriculum we end up using. Amen. Okay, let's move on. Art. One of my goals this year was to fit in our art lessons again, and I'm happy to report we have done 2 lessons and are about halfway through our current art project. That's 1 month in. We're halfway through our art project. We typically do art on Fridays, which is also our science experiment day, which is also the day that we have quilting class once a month, and the day that we take field trips with our co-op occasionally. So I think 2 lessons is a win for us. We are going to keep working at it, and you know, when we can, we'll just take it week by week. My kids do enjoy art though too, so I am going to continue to be intentional about it. One of my daughters especially is really showing some talent in it, so I'm going to see what I can do to encourage her a bit more over the rest of the school year if this is an area that she wants to keep improving in. There aren't really any other updates for my older kids right now. We are almost finished with our BJU Press Heritage Studies book, and we are slowly but surely working through our biblical worldview lessons, which I'm still really loving. So let's talk about my pre-K for a minute. We are using My Father's World Voyage of Discovery this year, and my little one really likes it. I will say he is probably my most conscientious kiddo and works really hard for his age. He loves his schoolwork and wants to do things well. That being said, he has grown a lot this year, and while we are still doing some parts of the curriculum, it kind of feels like he's outgrown some of the activities or they're just too easy for him, so we skip them. He's an older pre-K or two. He turned 5 in December, so I will be starting kindergarten with him next school year. Right now, with our Voyage of Discovery curriculum, we are mainly still doing the letter of the week and number of the week activities because we're still working on learning all of the letter names and sounds, but he's doing great with it. We do the Bible readings and the character readings, and we read through the books that came with the curriculum, and we mainly are doing this only about 2 to 3 days a week and are kind of able to fit in everything we need. In the beginning, we would do it every day, but like I said, a lot of the activities are pretty repetitive and we just don't need or want to do them anymore. And while I wasn't thinking about starting kindergarten officially until the fall, I have been toying with the idea of starting him with some more challenging math and reading lessons soon. Nothing too rigorous, but just to, start off slow and work at an easy pace until we officially start kindergarten in the fall. I do plan on using my Father's World kindergarten curriculum, but may end up supplementing, doing something different for reading and math if we end up starting that earlier. I'm still kind of thinking through all of that. Okay, why don't we move on and talk about a few things that we changed in January. So we've been using learning language arts through literature this year, and as I've mentioned before, I started off really excited about this, and there are parts that I still do like, but there are a couple of areas that need more focus and attention for my kids than what I feel like we're getting with this curriculum. Language arts is not necessarily one of my strong suits to teach. I enjoy all the parts of language arts myself. It was one of my favorite subjects to take, but I'm just not the best at teaching it. For example, I'm seeing the need for more in-depth writing and spelling instruction for my kids. So in January, I did pull out All About Spelling for my girls, which I have used with my oldest son in the past, and we started working through these lessons again. My girls are in 5th grade, and we are almost through level 1 in All About Spelling, and we will move on to level 2 very soon. This is a curriculum that I've been on and off with, and I actually just released a video sharing more about this. So if you're interested in learning more or hearing my thoughts on it, definitely check that out. And we are going to continue using learning language arts through literature right now, but I'm just going to skip the spelling portions for my girls and do All About Spelling instead. It's been very interesting to use this curriculum. We're using the Purple Book this year, and it was completely new for us. And I think it was nice to give it a try, but we are going to be going in a different direction next year. However, I have been debating doing a video flip through of the Purple Book. I know that just because there are certain parts of this that don't work the best for us, it might be a great curriculum for someone else, and we do have experience with it. So if you are interested in a video like that, seeing what this is like or what the lessons look like, let me know in the comments and I can definitely do that. Something else we started trying in January is a science curriculum for my 6th grader. Yes, more science, but what we are doing is kind of testing this curriculum out to see if it will be a good fit for him next year when he is in 7th grade. Next year, we will be using my Father's World, Creation to the Greeks, and they recommend a different science for 7th graders. So this will be the first year that my son has had his own science lessons, as this is something we've typically done together as a family for the past couple of years. Each year, I think we'll be taking more and more steps towards that independent learning. And my oldest son is probably the one who needs this the least. He would honestly probably prefer to do everything independently if he could, but it has been fun to work together as a family for things like science, history, and Bible. So next year will be a little bit different, but he's getting to that age. Anyway, I am kind of debating between 2 options right now. The first one being a course from Berean Builders that was recommended by my Father's World for this year. And the one which he has been trying out right now is physical science from Science Shepherd. Science Shepherd is new to me, and I'm actually going to be partnering with them to do a review of this curriculum, so I will have more to say about it soon. We really like it so far, but what I want to do is let my son take a look at both options and kind of get a feel for what he might prefer for his science classes next year. I think that's important, especially the older they get. I think both of these curriculums are great options. There are way too many options out there, you guys, right? But there are some differences between the two, so we will see which one we land on. And stay tuned for that video in the next couple of weeks if you are curious to learn more about Science Shepherd, especially if you haven't heard about them before. I hadn't, and they are pretty awesome. Okay, I think that's about it. Not much else has changed this month. Those are the 2 big ones. So let me move on to what didn't go well in January. I actually think things went pretty well despite the changes that we are making. We are falling behind in our read alouds though, which I'm not happy about. I love our read aloud time, and usually I will read aloud to everybody after dinner, but it feels like lately we have had to be out the door somewhere almost every night after dinner, and it just hasn't been happening. So I'm hoping to get back into the routine of this month with our read alouds. My girls are reading more on their own, which I'm thrilled about, and my kids do have reading to do with their language arts curriculum. They are novel studies within the curriculum, but I'm not too happy with how these have been going either. So my son, currently he's reading Big Red, and then my girls are about to start Number of the Stars. And again, this is through their learning language arts through literature. These are separate novel studies that you do kind of on your own timeline in addition to the other language arts lessons, but they're not scheduled or built in. And honestly, I have not been great about reading the books and following up with my kids so we can have discussions about what they're reading. And I feel like we've been missing something because of this. So the next book studies that are coming up, so this one, and then my son's getting ready to about halfway through this. So it might be the next one. I'll have to see if there's another one coming up. But I really want to make a point to try to read the books with my kids, which I should be doing, I feel, so I can actually have a discussion with them and use the discussion questions that the curriculum provides. I just need to be intentional about doing this. But other than that, I can't say anything else has really not gone well this past month. And as far as February goes, it's going to be a busy month. So looking ahead a little bit, we are going to be more involved in our co-op. That started back up last week, so that is going to take up a good chunk of our time on Thursdays. My kids are taking a drama class, JA Biztown, and Latin. They are finishing up first form Latin from Memoria Press, which I really, really love. We'll possibly be trying out some curriculum with my preschooler, like I mentioned. I don't know if that's going to happen this month or next month. And we'll also, again, be finishing up our level 1 spelling book. Hopefully I'll be making some decisions on our science curriculum for my 7th graders, so I will keep you updated on that. Valentine's Day is also this month, and also on Valentine's Day is the first day of Lent. We aren't doing too much extra lesson-wise for Valentine's Day. I have a book that we'll read about St. Valentine, and we might do an online unit study if I want to add that in. But we will also start our Sunlight Lent unit study, so I'm probably going to rearrange our schedule a bit for a couple of weeks to add that in. What I think I'm going to do is maybe shift some of our Heritage Studies lessons down a little bit, down in the planner, because we're almost finished with that book. So if I need to make some extra room, that might get shifted, and possibly our Basics for a Biblical Worldview lessons, we might shift that so we can add in some extra reflection and study time on Lent. The Lent lessons are pretty short, but they are meaningful, and I want for all of us to do them together, even with my little one, to help us prepare for the Easter season coming up. President's Day is also this month. On the 19th of February, we aren't necessarily doing anything special for this. I feel like we've been learning a lot about presidents this year in history. I do want to share, in case you're looking for something, I noticed that Homeschool Planet is offering some free lesson plans on presidents right now. So if you use Homeschool Planet, you can download these lesson plans and you can easily apply them to your planner. And if you don't use Homeschool Planet yet, well, why not? It's amazing. But you can still get these free lesson plans, and it also comes with a 30-day free trial of the online homeschool planner. I will put a link in the description for you to check out in case you want to do that. We love Homeschool Planet. I use it, my kids use it, we all use it and love it. All right, guys, what is coming up on my channel this month? There is a lot I'm excited to share with you. I am working on a vlog style video of the recent marathon I ran. Next week, I have a fun get to know me 21 questions type video that is going to be awesome. I have a big giveaway I am sharing with you next week. You don't want to miss it. Lots of curriculum to unbox and talk about, and of course my weekly homeschool prayer challenge videos. I hope you guys have had a chance to watch those. If not, head over to the prayer challenge playlist and check those out. Plus, my 1-year anniversary on YouTube is coming up, so I have a video planned for that too, where you can get to know me a little bit more, and I will be giving away some fun things then too. So there's a lot going on. It's a busy month. If you have any questions for me or any video suggestions, please leave those in the comments so I can make sure to talk about them next month. I hope that you will subscribe and stick around so you don't miss out on any of the content I have coming up. Definitely check out some of the links I have for you in the description below as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and catching up with me a little bit about how our homeschooling is going. It feels like things are always moving and changing as I learn more about my kids, learn more about different homeschool resources and opportunities, and I just really love sharing this with you guys and just getting a chance to talk this all through. So I hope you found some value and encouragement from listening to me ramble a little bit today. And maybe you got some laundry folded too. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.